वही नहीं है क्या?
Gupta sir, you can start the webinar.
Good evening, friends. I am K.K. Gupta, your host of this program today. Today we have a very important topic to be discussed with our eminent speaker in this program. Entrepreneurship in post-COVID-19 resurgence. This is our ninth webinar under the series of Association of Financial Advisors of India. The association was constituted under the Company Act 2013 with the sole aim to provide education to the stakeholders, to the financial consultants, to the bankers, and entrepreneurs. Under the Resurgence series, we also hold about 113 webinars under the various subjects, as we talk about the infrastructure, or you talk about the SME sector, restructuring, all aspects we have touched it. I am very happy to announce that we are getting a very good feedback from our early participants. In this webinar also, we have got more than 500 registrations with us. And in last webinar or before that, people are appreciating about this webinar, this association webinar which we are coming out, touching on the financial aspects of the economy. As you are aware that COVID impacted across the globe. Whether you talk about the health sector, you talk about the economic activities, it play, you can say, a very drastic role for that. Government enacted various measures to support the public health system, safeguarding the economy. In this respect, entrepreneurs play a very important role. Who is entrepreneurs? A person who has some idea or give shape to it. So what challenges he is facing for that entrepreneur? So major aspect is he has some internal challenges also. Developing business idea and vision is also a challenge for them. To have some idea, to provide some visions, and to get them executed. Then second challenge is facing the raising capital. Capital is also most important aspect which we are going to discuss. Then important challenge is right place to start any business had to start at the right place where infrastructure are also available. As you talk about the raw material, you talk about the power, you talk about the skilled labor, everything should be available in that area. Now some external factors are also there. When we are dealing with the competitors, in the small SME sector, has to deal with some big entrepreneurs also. That means he is facing external challenges. Then he is feeling unforeseen business challenges and expenses. Finding goods customer is also a challenge for that. Then what are the suggestions? How it can be overcome for that? Being optimistic toward challenging, this is one suggestion. Expand the idea and vision to potential investors. Because I find out in one webinar, when his banks are elected to fund the loan, fund the money, he has got some order. What he had done it, he find out some investor. Although the profitability has come down, still he can manage to complete the execute the contract. That is important aspects. Then research the target market and analyze the competitors' products. what other competitors are producing the product, that is also important aspect. Then enrich by inspiring himself. That is also important issue. If some difficulty are facing, just like COVID, he has inspired to find out some other solution. Talking about the digital, that we are also going to touch all the aspects. Now we are talking about the entrepreneur. Subject is entrepreneurship. What is entrepreneurship? Entrepreneurship is nothing, is a process which gives shape to the ideas. We're talking about entrepreneurship, it is a four type of entrepreneurs which we are talking about. Either we are talking about the small entrepreneurs, and we are talking about the scale level startup, we are talking about the larger entrepreneurs, and we are also talking about the social entrepreneurships. The most important aspect is enterprise. In any economy of the world, in any economy of the country, these entrepreneurs play a very important role for them to identify the vision, idea, and to get the executed is an important role for them. I will not take much time because the subject is very, very vast. Where we are having a expert with us. So we are with us, Shri Chavla. Chavla sir, you are there? Chavla ji, I think he is not there. Like I am coming to Shri Shiv Kumar. Shiv Kumar is a founder, director of Starta Consulting Services Private Limited. Two-decade experience of leadership, experience in banking and real estate. Mr. Shiv Kumar is a research lead approach to understanding environment's landscape. He has extensive travel the country and overseas, resulting network with investor, business partner. He managed four seasons project in Bangalore and built a execute a strategy business plan for some Bangalore best developer. He's the right person to talk. Sir, just I want to ask you one question because you are the such a long experience with you. A major issue for any entrepreneurship in the areas of technology innovations because COVID gave a lesson that without any innovations, without any technology, without any digitalizations, industry cannot survive. What are your thoughts of Shiv Kumar for that area? I hand over to Mr. Shiv.
Thank you for those warm words, Gupta ji, and good evening, distinguished speakers and fellow participants. History has witnessed what we call as black swan moments at various points in time. It could be the World War II, it could be the 9/11, it could be the Lehman Brothers episode. But none of these events have managed to bring the entire world to a grinding halt like the one that we witnessed since the onslaught of the pandemic. It has left a deep scar in the socio-economic, psychological, physical, and the emotional fabric of our very existence. Particularly, in my opinion, the emerging economies have had a profound impact due to the onslaught of this pandemic. Before I answer your question, Gupta ji, I would like to showcase the current existing landscape of the MSME and the entrepreneurs for the benefit of everyone. According to the latest report that has been released by the Ministry of MSME, there are 6.3 crore MSMEs in India, out of which there are 0.33 million MSMEs which fall under the small enterprise category. Only 5,000 MSME units fall under the medium enterprise category, which means these are enterprises with less than 20 crores and less than 20 crores of investment and less than 100 crores of top line, which means 98% of this ecosystem comprises of micro enterprise category. And what is more worrying and alarming is the fact that of the 6.3 crore MSME outfits in the country today, only 1 crore MSMEs are registered under GST. Now, the impact this has is something that I would like to cover later. Of course, the sector significantly contributes to the GDP of India, almost 33%. 1/3 of Indian GDP is contributed by the sector. It has played a significant role in employment. 110 million people have been recruited in the direct wages, and almost 50 million people are the indirect wages. The bulk of the MSME sector in India is inclined more towards the services sector vis-a-vis the manufacturing sector. Now, let's look at the global landscape for a second. If you look at the MSME sectors in some of the more established and evolved economies like Germany, China, Denmark, Ethiopia, for that matter, let me give you some quick numbers here. The MSME sector's contribution to the GDP of China is 60%. Germany is 57%. Denmark is close to 50%. If I have to talk of Ethiopia, Ethiopia was one of the small countries which first put up a plug-and-play manufacturing hub in the world and created a model like pay-per-use facility, which is like your quote-unquote the co-working model that we are used to in India. Can you imagine a small entrepreneur who gets a facility like this without having to bother about CapEx, without having to bother about OpEx, just moves into an existing infrastructure, a perfect hybrid combination of real estate and MSME sector coming together, where one of them provides the infrastructure while the other gentleman focuses on execution and product delivery. Now let's come to your question. There are a lot of impediments that has been plaguing the sector ever since its inception. Of course, the fall of events in the last 2 years, particularly the pandemic, has only compounded the situation. So what I have done is, rather than being very myopic about one or two items, I have tried to look at the universe of the ecosystem, and I have zeroed in on 5 areas where the pain point is felt most by most of these entrepreneurs. People and skill development is one of the area. Finance and capital flows is another area. Information and technology is one area. Infrastructure is the 4th area. Last but definitely not the least, government and its policy matters is a very critical area. Now let's quickly look at each of these areas and the kind of barriers that are faced by the current breed of entrepreneurs. People and skill development. Now one must understand that MSME sector comprises of almost 70% of workforce, which are migrant population. These are people coming from far off places and remote places with no access to any kind of skill development infrastructure. There are no vocational training centers made available for this sector, so that this gentleman, when he lands up at the working facility, is job ready from day one. This eats into the productivity because the time he consumes to settle into the new job, learn the trade, and become productive is almost 6 to 8 months. This takes away the productive element of the MSME sector, which the sector cannot afford. 2, an absolute lack of common resources, skills, and management pool is only compounding the matter for the sector. Train the trainer model is non-existent. So overall skill development needs an absolute new and renewed approach. Let's look at finance and capital flows. Despite the government of India's proactive and valuable and innovative schemes at regular intervals. The fact that 80% of the sector is still not registered, they don't even qualify for most of these schemes. Now, we all have to understand that these are emerging sectors. These are small entrepreneurs. You cannot burden a small entrepreneur with debt on day one. So the conventional financial instruments like the debts, loans, don't augment the growth of this sector. You actually need risk capital. And the government of India did a wonderful job by bringing in something like Mudra. For the first time, the government of India took the initiative of offering loans with zero collateral for the ecosystem. But the fact that 80% of them have not even registered simply meant that they were disqualified to consume these kind of schemes. Last but not the least, lack of complete awareness about what is available in the market today. Now let's look at the third area of pain point, information and technology. Complete absence of timely access to technology, information, process, product, targeted, addressable markets. None of these are made available to the MSME sector through any kind of forums. There are a lot of forums made available, but do we have a robust PR mechanism to take this government's narrative to them? Is this narrative reaching the last mile? The answer is a comprehensive no. I don't mean to be harsh on the ecosystem per se. Only when two hands come together, there is noise. But it is the government which needs to do some kind of a fundamental rejig at the grassroots level so that people are made aware of the importance of registration. People are made aware of the importance of understanding what the government is trying to do. People are made aware of telling them that the journey begins from micro and has to end up at being a large cap and not go backwards. Let's look at infrastructure, the fourth pain point. The Indian industrial estate concept, I am sorry to use this word, is a comprehensive failure across the country. I just mentioned about Ethiopia. We don't have one industrial estate which is a holistic ecosystem. The sector has been continuously facing migrant issues, particularly during the pandemic. We have all seen the kind of impact it has had on the migrants. We still don't have an industrial estate which houses skill development infrastructure, healthcare infrastructure, education infrastructure for employees and their children, housing infrastructure so that the migrants don't have to keep running back in the event we have an eventuality like this going forward. Let's all understand, we are still not completely out of this pandemic. Yes, we might have left the worst behind, but what is in store tomorrow is still unknown. So we are still battling an unknown enemy. And are we geared to handle that? The answer as of today is maybe yes, maybe no, but more tilted towards no. Last but not the least, gentlemen, the government policy itself. Now, if you look at the Indian government's rating vis-a-vis the government rating, again, some of the four key metrics, which is very critical for any business sector, not just the MSME sector, but for any business sector. The ease of doing business, the prosperity of human index, the transparency index, the skill development index, the education index. I was shocked to see that in none of these parameters, we as a country with this kind of scale and size are even less than 60th out of the 170, 80 odd countries. In fact, in some of the indexes that I don't like to mention, we are rated 140th in the country. We are rated 90th in the world, not country. For example, transparency index, which is one of the most critical components for any entrepreneur, be it a micro, small, medium, large, to give him the confidence that he can boldly come into the ecosystem and focus on doing what he wants to do. We are rated 90 out of 140 countries. Are we trying to say that there is no transparency? Well, it could be a combination of ignorance, a lack of information, or everything. So the fall of all these impediments, accumulation of all these pain points and barriers has made this MSME sector so vulnerable in the recent past, in addition to the pandemic impact, that there is a serious threat of high mortality in the sector. In fact, I was recently reading one article when I was preparing for this event, that one white paper says that the average lifespan of a micro industry in India today is less than 15 months. And that's a very sad state for us. We are hardly a decade into the sector and we are already looking at failures. And what is the ecosystem doing to bring these entrepreneurs? Now, these are entrepreneurs which are carrying some ideas, but they lack leadership skills. They lack operational skills. They lack management skills. They lack go-to-market, skills. People might create a good product, but if he has no clue how to position this in the market, which is the right target addressable market to go and plant the product. I mean, if he's unaware of these things, we are just headed towards a very, very placid growth. The fact that the fallout of events after the pandemic, most of the global players are isolating China. I believe if we don't seize that opportunity as India and make India the next manufacturing hub, we will be caught napping. Because smaller countries like Vietnam, smaller countries like Indonesia, countries like Bangladesh, which is today called as the global capital for garments and tailoring, will go ahead of us. The entire human intensive sector like MSME will move away from our geography completely. I leave it to the remaining distinguished guests and speakers to take this conversation from here on some of the impediments I felt are extremely critical and valid in the current scenario. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Shiv Kumarji. I think you are rightly touched about the skill development. I think this is the most important aspect in all sectors for that. And you're talking about the finance, you're talking about the infrastructure, technology, you're talking about the government policies. I think it is eye-opener for the participants also. When we are talking about the recession of the SME sector, it is very, very less when comparing into the existence of the MSME sector. And it is also eye-opener what you're talking about today is a macro. Only survive for 15 months. I think this is not a digestible things are there. They can still what you're talking about must be some basis for that. So, sir, we are really thankful to you. I think you have given the in-depth story for that. We're talking about the Mundra and collateral fee loans without any margin or thing. Infrastructure. I think this is the most important aspect we are talking about the having an industrial state of the healthcare or something like that. Sir, I will come back to you. Now I'm coming to Shri Ashok Patnaik, sir, who is a General Manager, Indian Bank, Chandigarh. Mr. Patnaik joined in 1992, erstwhile Allahabad Bank, now Indian Bank, as a debt officer, having experience of more than 30 years in managing the public at large with quality lending, effective marketing, recovery, etc. He is customer centric, service driven, result oriented, with above boards, transparency is the most important because I seen him working in Mumbai when he was zonal head of the financial city. So he was very transparent. He want to do something, he will tell very clearly. Otherwise, he will say it is not possible. So I think, and very knowledgeable person, and leading from front. And he's a good taskmaster from his staff also. He worked as a branch head more than 15 years, working general manager since last July 2014. He has a vast experience in the banking sector. He is heading at present Chandigarh zone consisting of North India. He's the right person to talk about the digital. Sir, just I want to know from you, what are the digital solutions offered and produced by SME sector to keep their business afloat? Because COVID gave a lesson to the banking sector also, to the industrial sector also. Those can only survive who have digital solution for that. Even fintech company has come out very clearly and they are helping the people. Sir, what do you thought in that respect, sir? So I hand over to Mr. Patnaik.
Thank you, Gupta ji, and good evening to all distinguished speakers, and my warm greeting to all participants. And in continuation with Mr. Shivkumar ji, I would like to first throw lights on about the MSME sector. Obviously, this is a great concern. From banking point of view, if we talk about MSME, we call it the growth engine of our national economy. But fact is that during a pandemic, MSME sector is one of the worst hit due to so many reasons. You all know, maybe because of lockdown, maybe because of restriction, whatever it may be. And entire cycle, their future activities and repayment capacity, everything disturbed. The basic need of the hour, what Mr. Sikmar has pointed out very rightly, 97-98% of our entire entrepreneur falls under micro. What exactly they are facing, difficulties, what are the challenges they are having? From banking point of view, obviously, since I am working in the field, definitely I would like to share. So the major concern for MSME borrowers, MSME entrepreneur, as far as internal is concerned, the major impediments or difficulties, challenges they are having. Number one is non-financial support. They need non-financial support and followed by financial support. If I talk about non-financial support, it includes everything. It includes your leadership. It includes how to handle the financial, how to manage the day-to-day activity. It also includes various skills they need to equip to handle the business, more particularly during the period of crisis. And also, they must learn the different facilities, different platforms, different schemes, and different measures initiated by government, RBI, banks. A huge gap is there. And moreover, the worst part is how to assess their limits and how to take the due diligence or compliance part or mitigation part. So many things are there where really they are facing a huge problem. So need of the hour to extend financial as well as non-financial support to our micro entrepreneur, small entrepreneur, as well as medium entrepreneur. That is the major cause. If I talk about external factor, external challenges, number one is competition, number two is digitization. So here comes digital activities. Since today, the best takeaway from COVID is, yes, that is digital transformation. You can talk any part, any sector, any industry, they cannot survive without digital. If I talk about banking, if I talk about education, if I talk about healthcare, if I talk about hospitality, if I talk about your research, everything. Now, slowly and steadily, IT, they are encroaching almost every sector. Now, we depend largely on digital. So if I talk about MSME, if I talk about banking, we need to promote, we need to adapt, we need to accept, and we need to transform our day-to-day activities. So we call it green technology or whatever may be post-COVID session. So the best part is the internet is the only place which is not quarantined. For quarantine customer also. The brands, you will find the brands, those brands including ones that do not even have a single social page. Now they are exploring entire world. So everything is changing. It's so fast, so quick, and it has become so dynamic. we have to take the help, support of digital to transfer our day-to-day operation and day-to-day activities. If I talk about neo-banking, where it itself represents that without any physical presence, only virtual, enter end-to-end digital transaction. Now concept has come neo-banking. So banks are available in domestic and foreign banks are available where we can do transaction without physical presence of that branch. So let me now come to digital as per startup or MSME is concerned. This buzzword is yes, everything is possible, or I can tell with the help of digital, it makes more easy, more convenient, with the speed, with the cost, availability with 24/7 into 365. That is only possible with the use of digital platform. And without digital platform, our visibility, our availability, our opportunity, obviously, going down by down, there is no end point to that. So post-COVID, for startup and MSME, they need to identify, they need to transform their operational, they need to change their process, they need to adapt entire this new concept to promote their product, promote their marketing, to promote their business. There is no doubt about it. But it is not so easy for a small micro entrepreneur to do all these things. They need to take help from all type of system available. From a banking point of view, today I'm happy to announce that our bank, Indian Bank, has launched one digital platform for all such type of small entrepreneur where they can learn, they can take a certificate about non-financial activities. This we are conducting for MSME entrepreneur, and we are providing all type of educational facility, how to read a balance sheet, how to handle all type of crisis situation, how to develop leadership, how to promote your marketing activity. So this type of platform, we call it Prerna. That is a mentoring of MSME entrepreneur. That platform is available on a payment basis with a very nominal cost we are charging for new entrepreneur as well as for existing entrepreneur. We call it a Prerna platform. That is a basically that is a MSME mentoring platform. So we educate them, we try to empower them with different activities, starting with financial, non-financial, everything. And the end of the session, we hand over the certificate, a qualified person, then he can enter and he can start his own startup, he can start his own activity. That is one area. As far digital part is concerned, today, in not only in India, entire whole world is under transformation for business, for the research, for education, everything. So if I talk about MSME particularly, this is the right time, because for startup and MSME to transfer their business operation, they have to redesign the strategy, more particularly post-COVID-19 operation, based on digitization, means digital first. This is this would be the best slogan for all MSME entrepreneurs. For banking point of view, we call it mobile first. So we call it for digital first for MSME borrower. So if I talk about digital platform, if I talk about digital activities for a small exporter, if I take name of Niryat Mitra, a small exporter can go into that app. This app is basically provided by Federation of Indian Export. This provides entire gamut of information regarding the trend, global trend, domestic trend, market information, regulation, various new developments. We call it Niryat Mitra. This is a very beautiful app. I am talking about, this is app available in for all, particularly for exporter, and all small, big, large exporters, they are using this app. And this is a very good platform that provides a lot of information from global, and a lot of global trade opportunity available. That also we can easily learn out of that app. And as per our bank is concerned, and today, obviously, our bank, Indian Bank, is very aggressively promoting digital platform for this MSME sector, not only for MSME sector, for entire lending sector. So this is here we are promoting our entire activities through mobile. This mobile banking is no more confined to only payment system. Now we are providing mobile banking facility with the borrowing facility and for shopping facility also. And we are also providing a different tie-up, collaborative tie-up, mobile apps for exim module, means those who are doing import, export, they are also can utilize our app. So app-based activities we have introduced for our customers, for our MSME customer, for our new prospective customers. This is a digital platform, inbuilt in-house platform available readily for all our MSME entrepreneurs to utilize this platform, where readily they can utilize banking platform. They can easily onboard, they can visit, they can browse, they can travel through entire the facility available with the app. That is one. Then we have introduced entire digital processing centers, whether you call it FXPC, means we call it FXPC for entire export, import. We have our own processing center through digitally end to end. And one is a loan life cycle management system that has been introduced, where entire processing, documentation, including account opening, taking place end to end digitally. That is the best part, means well accepted by our customers and existing as well as new customer. So that is an area where we are engaging our customers for the benefit, taking the benefit of digital. So this is all about digital platform, and particularly MSME. If I talk about MSME, all the products, what our products today we are having, n number, means large number of products are available for MSME, but maximum products are digitally, they are available for our customer in pan India. So this is all about, and digital platform has become so simple, means once any customer, the moment he completes his journey, then he will not forget to revisit that platform. This has become so simple, so easy, so convenient, then time saving and cost saving, and very friendly. So we are continuously and consciously we are promoting digital platform, making easy for our customers and our customer more particularly to take the benefit of this digital platform. If I talk about trades also, that is also available digital platform. They can lodge their bills, they can take the benefit of interest rate, and they can take the payment out of trade platform. So all these type of facilities are available. And if I talk about MSME, particularly digital, and we are next we are trying to introduce cluster activities in digital platform for facilitating our MSME borrow. So all these type of activities are going to facilitate our micro, small, and medium borrow. And since this is a growth engine of entire country, and we all know that if I talk about GDP contribution or employment generation is concerned, so MSME sector is playing a very significant role. So yes, as a banker, as a public sector system, we have a large responsibility, and we are basically consciously we are promoting digital platform to make them take the benefit of this journey, digital journey. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. You have covered very nicely what you're talking about, the digital platform introduced by the Indian Bank. You're talking about the mobile banking. You're talking about the digital processing center. And trade, we are also talking about where you can go and discount the bills on a stock exchange. And sir, what important aspect you're talking about the cluster activities. I feel under your zone, sir, in Ludhiana, there is a cluster center of the cycle industry or something. I think for that bank can do a wonderful job for doing these cluster activities under your zone, sir. So just one point which I want to refer to you, because this fintech company is coming up like anything, sir, and they can be competed for the banker also, sir, for that, because
Yes, this is a very good question. But before I address this question, definitely I will add to this cluster issue. We are having 10 to 12 clusters from Bahadurgarh to Jalandhar. So different clusters are there. And the benefit of this cluster is we are identifying area. If I talk about Govindgarh, steel is there. Then Ludhiana, that cycle industry is there. Garments there. Jalandhar, we are having tools industry. So we are having a ready-made inbuilt interest pricing factor is there. So very easy to avail that credit facility in cluster, and very easy to mobilize for bankers, for our bank, for other banks also. And we promote that cluster in slowly and steadily in almost all districts. That is one area. And one more thing I must mention, that digital platform we have introduced on chartboard, that is we call it Adya. So any entrepreneur, he is not knowing anything basic about the loan application, how to move in the platform, how to take the lending facility. Adi is a chartboard digital friend. You put any message through this mobile app, immediately you will get very appropriate answer, a very appropriate reply, how to approach, how to address, or how to fill up your application, or what is the minimum requirement for your loan, and who is the concerned person. So everything readily available. Means that is a digital friend, virtual friend, readily available for our existing as well as our prospective customer. As per our fintech company is concerned, this is not exactly, I cannot tell the new concept. This is a concept available in the system today. I have already mentioned that IT companies slowly and steadily they are encouraging each and every sector. You go to hospital, you go to restaurant, you go to education, everywhere you will find IT. So fintech company, they are going to play a very good, very significant role in promotion of business. So what exactly we are doing? We are doing a collaborative approach. So we are using them as aggregate. So we are using their platform. Since bankers, public sector banks or private sector banks, we have a large customer base. So since we are having a large customer base and a variety of customers are available, so fintech company, they are working in collaboration with all private public sector banks, and they are working as aggregator. They are doing the screening, they are doing the all type of screening job, and they are providing the ultimate customer to cross sell the product. And we are working on sharing of commission basis. So fintech company, no doubt, as on date, the requirement, the demand of digital is huge in the market. That is not possible for a bank, for a company to take introduce or to install to entire system. The best way to go for collaborative approach with the fintech company. And fintech, with the help of fintech company, we can reach any part of country without loss of time. That is the best advantage right now we are enjoying. Thank you.
Very nice, sir. We are thankful to you, sir. Well, we will come back to you, sir. Now coming to Sri Tirukraj Chawla, sir.
Hanji, sir.
Projects ED of Allahabad Bank, 37 plus banking experience with him. Work as executive director for 27 months in Allahabad Bank. He was regional head in Dina Bank, Mumbai, Chennai. Board level experience of 12 years in various subjects. He was in RRB, issue RRB, he on the board of all Bank Finance Limited and Universal Sompo Insurance Company Limited. He was also on their board. And he has vast experience under the banking sector, various subjects, because he headed almost all the big John of the bank. Sir, just I want to know from you, how this COVID, we are just talking about still COVID fear is with us, how the COVID paradigm generated possibility for the industry growth. Now we are talking about this is a fear, this is a loss. Lekin, how you feel that it play possibility for the growth sector this also, sir, this COVID?
Yeah.
I hand over to Mr.
Yeah. Thank you, Gupta ji, for invitation and a detailed introduction. Now, as we all know, Mr. Shivakumar also has deliberated in detail regarding the pandemic and the impact of pandemic and also other infrastructure requirements for the MSME, which needs improvement, I should say, and improvement can come from the government sector, from the policy front, from the popularity front, as well as from individual initiatives. Now, we all know that pandemic has created a void, especially for product and services which MSME were offering. Suddenly, people moved out, their workforce moved out of the factories, they went to their hometowns, productions came to grinding halt, whereas these entrepreneurs continue to meet the fixed expenses. And I won't be surprised to say, it won't be surprising to say that very many of them with a lesser liquidity or lesser financial resources must have closed also during that particular period. The period was prolonged for fairly long period of time, more than 2 years. It has been there, and our MSME clients, more particularly the micro and the small one, they don't have financial muscles to meet the expenses for that long a period. So they had been coming to the bank for assistance. Bank assisted them in one first dose, maybe second dose also they approached the banks for assistance, which could have happened, could not have happened. As a result, the account would have faced the stress. But now almost we are at the end of the pandemic era. I'm hopeful that the other, the phases of pandemic may not reach us, and we'll be, improving much better than rest of the world. Because third one also, we had impact, but not as strong as the other countries had. So we are hopeful that henceforth the things will be normal. And if we go through the data which is being released by the system from time to time, the demand for the pre-pandemic level is coming up. We are reaching that particular level gradually, of course. The GST collections indicate the robust growth in the demand. And I'm sure that our MSME clients also are encountering the increased demand, which maybe some of them are able to meet and some of them may not be able to meet that much because of financial stress they had faced in the past. But the fact is, things are improving, and there are a lot of opportunities for our SME clients to enhance the production capacity and also diversify in the respective existing area of manufacturing, or maybe they could consider the allied activities also. With the demand going up, I feel that they can diversify into the international sector also, the export sector as well, because as per the data released recently by the system, we have crossed a milestone of $400 billion of exports, which is really a great thing. So keeping in view the incentives, keeping in view the motivation given by the government by way of different schemes for enlarging the product base for the exports, things are improving, and our MSME clients can certainly encash on that and ramp up their production capacity by maybe some alignment in the quality part of it, or maybe the research part of it can help. Because when we enter a international sector or a foreign sector, a lot of competition will come, and to meet their competition, the quality has to be superb. The quality wise product has to meet the expectation of the client. Only then the unit will get the order. And as already stated by Mr. Pradhan also, that the units are the small units, micro or the MSME units, they are getting good orders and they are able to execute as well, because government is giving them a lot of incentives by way of reducing the rate of interest for the export sector. When they intend to export, rates are almost aligned to the cost of finance which their international competitor must be facing. It could be in rupees, it could be in foreign currency as well, but the cost is almost aligned to the financial cost is almost aligned to the international players. So the competition becomes smooth in that particular case, and they can meet the pricing requirement of the client by slightly aligning their product base, by increasing their competitiveness, by enhanced quality. And I must say that these units can certainly avail the term loan facilities also from the banks, at a very competitive rate. I mean, almost at the international rates, because ultimately these are export oriented production facilities. Also, I feel that the units which have not done well, or they had faced the financial strains during this particular pandemic period, the bigger unit or the units which have financial strength and they are able to survive and continue flourishing in the market, they can collaborate with them, because such units had the technical capabilities to produce a particular product, but due to financial stress, maybe they couldn't continue, and they are unable to resume the production to the level the demand exists in the market. So that also offers the opportunity to comparatively larger units to collaborate and earn for themselves and also help them to survive. So that is another opportunity this pandemic has opened to us. And to meet these opportunities, banks have all the schemes to finance. Government has given lot many schemes, lot many incentives to the industry. Now, I can appreciate that due to the high mortality in the past, especially during the COVID period, there is some hesitancy in some sectors to give the fresh loans to the units which have already faced the financial stress. But by and large, things have improved, I should say, because the delinquency level has come down, and also government has come out with a scheme which which enables them to take the assistance from the bank only to the extent of additional requirement, provided they meet certain parameters. And the parameters are simple. At the beginning of pandemic, that is in February 20, if their total exposure to the banking sector was within 25 crores and they had an annual turnover of within 100 crores for the financial year 2019-20, they become eligible for taking additional funds which are collateral free, which are easy to take, and there are no personal guarantees, and they can avail that particular facility under that particular scheme. So that is very good scheme, and the government has been extending the validity of the scheme, and presently it is available till March 2023. The units can certainly avail that. In addition to that, government also has been giving various other schemes. Various ministries, various departments have been announcing various schemes through which they can take the help of upgrading their human resources, upgrading their marketing skills, upgrading their technical skills, etc. But then the point is, government can popularize the scheme in a manner which suits their budgetary requirements. But the fact is, now digitization has gone to an extent where everything is available online. As Mr. Pradhan also said, the various portals are available of the private sector, of the public sector, even the government ministries and departments. They have also put everything on the portals, and the information is not a issue now. But initiative from our micro entrepreneurs is required. They need to know how to assess these portals and from where to get the information. And there are so many schemes of the government itself which requires application to be filed online, and the decisions are also available online under those applications, whether they are eligible, to what extent they are eligible, how much time it is going to take, what are the formalities required to be completed. Similarly, most of the banks have put their lending schemes on the platform, on their websites. They are available for all entire public, including MSME clients. They can fill the forms, they can seek the entitlement, how much they are entitled to, and what are the other requirements for submitting the documentation, etc. Things are very simple, and the pandemic has created the culture of putting everything onto the systems so that people can assess. Not only that, the marketing strategies which are available now due to pandemic, they are digital platforms by various big corporates, like say Amazon is offering each and every type of product. MSME clients can register there, showcase their product, and then attract the buyers. And I must say that delivery cost, execution cost of an order is much more lower in a digital when the order is received on a digital platform, vis-a-vis physical delivery through stores or through uh, exhibitions or any other physical mode. Cost effectiveness of these models are much more in favor of the MSME entrepreneurs, and they can reduce the cost and enhance the sales by using these digital platforms available. Now, as I said earlier, as Mr. Pradhan also indicated, some initiative need to be there from the entrepreneur point of view so that they can take the benefit of the information available, the facilities available, the schemes available from financial system as well as from the government. And unless that initiative is reflected in action, maybe the stress which they continue, which they had been feeling in the past, that will continue. But then I must say that each and every entrepreneur would be interested in bringing his business live again, provided the information, provided the resources are available to him. And I must say that with slightly aligning the things here and there by taking the help of fintech firms which consolidate the requirements and give to the banks or take the refinance from the banks, maybe the cost there will be a little bit more because ultimately they are sourcing the funds from a established setup and they have to add some margin. But then availability can be ensured through these mechanisms which can meet the requirement of these MSME clients. Because unless the funds are available, unless the liquidity is available, no business can continue or no business can flourish. The immediate availability of funds, though at a little bit more cost, can ensure their survival. Maybe the margin will be little bit less to begin with, but as and when they continue, as and when their sales grow, then they can certainly reach the institutional resources to reduce the margin and they can get finance at a much more competitive rates. So my suggestion to the MSME clients will be explore the all possibilities of taking the information, availing the information and taking the benefit of various schemes available from the public sector, from the private sector, from the government portals, from the association portals, and continue to revive their business and meet the increased demand. With this, I think I'll conclude my interaction on this.
Thank you, Chawla sir. You have touched very rightly. The demand is growing up.
Yeah.
So when the demand is going up, definitely party projection, party requirement of the funds will also grow.
Yeah.
What is the option available with the SME sector to approach for the funding, sir? Have you any suggestion for that, sir?
The funding as such, if they must be having one or the other, bank or a financial institution, NBFC, etc., for meeting their requirements.
Sure.
When the business is growing, no bank or no financial institution or the NBFC would be, not ready to help. They also need a growth, so they will help. Maybe some ratios here and there would have gone astray due to pandemic, but then if they are explained properly and some margin contribution is extended by the entrepreneur, then funds are available. As I said, this emergency, that scheme which government has given, emergency credit line guarantee scheme which government has given, that is collateral free. So that is a very good source for these entrepreneurs to take the finance. And the amount available is, as per the requirement, only the eligibility criteria of that 50 crores exposure and annual turnover as at the financial year 1920 should be within 100 crores, they become eligible. Now, this scheme has got a very good response from the business and it is quite popular and validity is also extended from time to time. Besides this, fintech firms are also giving the facilities. Banks, of course, are available. Now, a few days back, I was interacting with my erstwhile colleague. He said that now the demand from the MSME sector is going up and we are sometimes finding it difficult to meet the rush because everything is centralized now. They get the application, they pool them, send to the centralized processing center, and then they pressurize that particular center to clear them at the earliest because customer is, visiting them periodically or maybe the turnover is getting affected. So a lot of demand is coming up and the system is already geared up to meet particular that demand with all checks and balances. Now, funds is not a problem. Financing the requirement of the demand, manufacturing demand, is not an issue now. Only the initiation or the what you call incentive. The initiation has to be from the entrepreneur. If he approaches at the right time, then funds should be available from one or the other source.
Thank you very much, sir. I think you have covered that rightly. You also mentioned, sir, about the delivery cost is coming down
Yeah.
with the digitization. So I think this is the most important aspect. And you also covered the emergency line of credit, which is available to the entrepreneurs. Besides, if demand is growing, definitely bank will reassess the limits and they can be sanctioned. The major issue is the margin money, margin requirement of that things. That is also some margin money scheme are also available in the sector, which can be available with these people. So I'm thankful to you, sir. Chapa sir, I will come back to again if time permit me. So I'm now coming to Madam Jinal Bhansali. She is a senior relationship manager with the Chartered Bank Securities. She is master in banking and finance. She is expert in financial aspects, in public relations. When I visited the Standard Chartered Securities, she helped the people. So just I want to know from Madam, how you develop a relation with the customer and what digital banking is coming and how your bank is helping the customers in digital banking because you are dealing with the securitizations, the stock market. So what is your feedback to our SME sector, how they can approach for the demat account or for the banking facility and how you maintain the relation with the customers? Give your thoughts, madam. Hand over to Madam Jonah.
Thank you for your introduction and thank you to all the other speakers. I learned and many more things I got to know today which were not known. So coming back to your question, so keeping a relationship would be the educating the client. So the first important point will be the education because the client is not known about the facilities, is not known about the digitalization that is there for for the finance. As in, if I talk about the MSME companies or any individual, so everyone is on the same page. So there is a facility available as per the government norms and everything, but people are not known how to grab that opportunity. So that is the most important thing that I communicate with the people, with the companies, with the individual, that you can grab this opportunity, and this is the way I educate them, even the digitally and to about to opening or to wealth creation or anything in the finance. So finance is all what about you create your wealth. The other point is you create the company, the how you will grow the company, you will be needing the finance. As the all other speakers said, that the points, that the importance how you will grow and how you will start your company, the startups. So the difficulties is like, if someone is having the financials, then they don't have the non-financial thing, as Mr. Pathak said. So financial and non-financial, he just derived in very good manner that the major important thing is to start up, to make successful startup, successful MSME. This is the biggest that investment one can do. So government is overall working on that. There are many policies that are coming, like the different policies to the interest of the investor, to gain the interest of the investors and to sustain in the market. So the major role is played by in every sector, not only in the finance or banking, in every sector is the digitalization. So everyone from the small startup to the big companies or a big individuals or anyone. So even if I look at the local market, so from your small thing to making the company successful, the digitalization is very important. So talking about the market, earlier if I look at the 20 years back or the before that the 30 years back, the opening an account or go for an investment into the market will come as in 7 to 8 days it will take, or maybe to set up to start your account and everything. Now with the help of the digitalization you can make it within the 30 minutes, and there is no physical presence you needed to do all the process. So that is one biggest point, that even wherever you are in the world, wherever you are, if qualifying your eligibility is there, then anytime you just start investing, you just build your portfolio. So the biggest part of the digitalization is now to grow and the grown company to sustain in the market. So just to sustain also, this is the very biggest innovation. You have to keep innovate your products, your services to the clients, that how you are different from the competitors. So that way every aspects you need to work on that, and only the one common factor that will help is the innovation and the digitalization of the market. Everything is available digital now, as even the sir mentioned, the Amazon is doing, all the products are available. So you have to be your presence should be there in the market, just like the same that every service in your sector you will give to the client. So that way the just coming to your that point, so going and investing is just one step away from any individual or any companies. So just one step away, and that is to all easy, all like everything is available now online. The whole education has shifted to online. Everything is now shifted. So that's it, all digitalized.
Thank you very much, madam. I think you have told very nicely. You can say within 30 minutes you can open the account, even 1 second, other thing. We are thankful to you. I think this will be great experience for you also. I think this is webinar will prove to be coming in your career also for that. I think we will invite you sometime more. So now I'm coming to Shri Patnaik sir. Patnaik sir, there is one question from Mr. Sampath. He telling that while we are moving toward the digital in our business, want to know the view of the cyber crimes and challenges as we face a huge dangers. Cyber crime you're talking about. Sir, you have any view on that, sir? Mr. Patnaik?
Yes, that is a very vital question from our participants, and this is a very interesting question, because today, day by day, it is a part of our digital journey. So once we are in digital platform, we need to adhere to certain manners and etiquettes, and we have to keep our OTP or password close to our chest. That is the thumb rule, what we need. And there are certain activities we need to follow while using your net, or while you are using in a public place, common internet, or you are doing some banking transaction. Try to use your personal net while doing the banking transaction. If you are in a public place and you are using some common internet facility, and there are certain issues are there, and sharing of OTP, so many things are there. But today the system is very transparent and very easy, and the safest journey you can do through net banking and mobile banking. There is nothing to worry like that, because every transaction it will throw you one OTP. You have to confirm it immediately, followed by SMS that this transaction has taken place through your account, whether it is a transfer of fund or a payment of fund or whatever may be. So many things are there, yes. But still, while using digital platform, we need to take care of certain things that is very mandatory for all users. for me, for you, for everybody, while using your ATM card, debit card, or using your UPI, or sharing your OTP, be careful about that. Otherwise, all type of protection, safety measures are there. Though it is happening, though it is coming in news that this has happened, this fraud has happened, but it is not with exclusive. Means this is a both way. Means once the moment you share your OTP or your code number, then very easy for fraudster to enter and do the transaction. Otherwise, nothing to worry about that for net banking or digital banking or payment banking or for mobile banking. So a lot of safety measures are already inbuilt in the system.
Thank you very much, sir. You have covered very nicely, sir, for the reply also. Sir, for digital, I think Indian Bank is very in a advanced stage for digital processing. Other things are there. Sir, there are more than 500 people listening to you beside the YouTube or Facebook. Sir, you have any advice to our lastly, could say a few words to our participants, sir?
Number one, I would like to mention the need of the hour is, again, I repeat, that is to extend non-financial hand-holding support beside financial support. Number one, that is number one, non-financial support, hand-holding or mentoring. And my request would be for all new entrepreneurs, new startup, there are so many platforms are available on payment basis or on free also. Invest some time and learn the things. Develop the skill, because you need to, all our entrepreneurs need to empower themselves about the non-financial transaction, non-financial activities, about the leadership, market, development, changes, everything is changing very fast. So my request would be all MSME entrepreneur, those who are new or those who are already in the activities, please pay due attention towards your non-financial activities, empower yourself and update yourself. And second part is digitalization. You accept that, because this is a change we need to accept as early as possible. So then only we can grab our share in the market and take the benefit of digitization, whether it is a marketing or promotion of product or manufacturing. It will save your time, your cost. It will be very easy to monitor everything. Take the benefit of digital platform. So one part is digitalization, other part is your soft skill development and empowerment. This is a message. And otherwise, for a startup, obviously, my simple suggestion, be your own boss. So this is an area, and whatever new idea, new innovation, or whatever new concept you carry, you must move on. And entire system, if I talk about our public banking system, we are available to help you anytime, anywhere. So nothing to worry for that. And simple is, be your own boss. If you do not build your own dream, someone will hire you to build theirs. So this is my message to all new entrepreneur and startup. Thank you.
Great Guru Mantra, sir. Be your own boss. I think this is a takeaway by our participant. Be your own boss. Thank you very much, sir. Shiv Kumar is there. Shiv Kumar ji, you are available? Shiv Kumar ji. Sir, you want to say something, last word to our participant? Any advice, sir, from your side, sir? Because you are such an experienced person, sir. Any advice, sir? You are unmute कर लीजिए sir, unmute. Unmute कीजिए sir. Sir, हाँ, बोलिए sir. Not listening, sir. Nothing. Voice is not coming, sir. So I will come back to you, sir. Your voice is audible. So, sir, I may come to Shri Chawla, sir. Chawla, sir, you want to say something, sir? Chawla ji? Chawla, sir.
Yeah, as I said earlier, now the entrepreneur here, our MSME entrepreneur, they have to be alive to the information available. Everything is available now online, and transparency is to a large extent available in the government schemes, available in the public sector bank scheme as well as private sector bank schemes. And almost all banks have come out with various portals, various modules of their banking through which the business of the enterprise is smoothened to a great extent. Now, maybe it could be the bill correction, maybe it could be the trade finance, maybe it could be, tax remittances or other general commercial remittances. Everything is smoothened, everything is available in one go. In each and every, what you call module, things are available. So far as banking and related transactions are concerned, they have been smoothened to a large extent by the banks, public sector banks as well as private sector banks. So no hassles so far as banking aspect is concerned. Now they should more concerned about the product development diversification so that they can meet the competition and they can meet the demand. And once they realize, yes, there is a gap in their resources, that gap need to be bridged well in time. I should say, it is not the when you receive the order, then only you rush to the bank for getting a finance. You assess your requirement right at the time of going into negotiation with the potential buyer for a particular product or a particular quantity of the product. The moment you feel that yes, we are going to clinch this particular deal, immediately thereafter you should gear up for meeting the gap in your financial requirement, and that gap can be met with proper presentation. The banks also give the one-time finance. They also give the, maybe before the scheduled renewal or enhancement date also, they accommodate the clients. The requirement is only this: the basic requirement of the banking should be met. That's all. The bank should be convinced, yes, this entrepreneur has a capability to manufacture and he is likely to get an order, and also he'll be able to service the account as per the norms. Once these aspects are convinced to the banker, he'll be the last person not to assist the entrepreneur for meeting that particular requirement. So my request is assess in time for your financial requirement, approach the bank in time so that when you get the order, everything is put in place and you smoothly execute this. Demand certainly is going up, and our all entrepreneurs, they are also gearing up, rather they have geared up to meet the demand, and I wish them all the best. And also lastly, as Mr. Patnaik also said, take the advantage of internet. Everything is available and it's cost effective. All modules of learning are available, all modules of information are available, all modules of selling the products are available at a much more, much lesser a cost than the physical part of delivering the product. That's all I wanted to say lastly.
Thank you, sir. Now coming to Shiv Kumar ji. Please, Shiv Kumar ji, say something. Not audible, sir. Not audible. So thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Can you hear me now?
Now coming to Miss Jinal.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I am hearing you, sir. I am hearing you, sir.
Sir, I just have one point to make to most of the participants here. While the two gentlemen from the private public sector bank have spoken extensively about various schemes and various products, most of it happens to be in the debt space. And most of the micro and small enterprises today are clueless about enough amount of money that is available on the equity side, on the private placement side, on the special situation side, on the venture capital side. I think for the benefit of participants, I would like to say that there is another set of capital that is sitting there, which is willing to look at greenfield opportunities, which is willing to look at growth capital, which is willing to bring in structured components in the money market instruments, so that most of these startups do not from day one build some kind of a finance cost structure in their balance sheet. As long as people, participants, startups are aware of these things, it's good. Otherwise, people like us are always there to guide them, to mentor them, to help them, so that they also have access to alternate sources of capital and not the conventional debt alone.
Very nicely, sir. I think we are also thinking, sir, to do some webinar on the capital market, because we have done for IPO sector, for SME sector. I have done so many webinars to put her IPO sector. So we will try that what you are suggesting for a capital market, for a stock market, see capital is available. So we should do something to educate our entrepreneurs, because these financial institutions, what we have done, Association for Financial Advisor, object is to have some, you can say, get some experience regarding the financial sector. That's why we formed this association, sir. So we will try to come up to your expectations, sir. Next webinar, we may do it on capital market only. Thank you very much for sparing your time and also telling your viewpoints, sir. Madam, you want to say something, Madam Jinal? Unmute kariye, madam. You want to say something?
Everything covered by all the seniors, and still just one point to add, and again, as you said that capital market, you are going to do the webinar, so many more, it is a very big subject, so many more things to cover, and just one thing, keep invested, and divide your finance to in such a way that you create and you build a wealth in certain period of time. So that would be the best part.
Thank you, madam. At the end, I am thankful to Shri Ashok Patnaik, sir, who is all the demand of the people. He come in so many webinars. People are asking me, where is Patnaik, sir? Why you not calling him? So he was so much busy person, handling a big zone of Chandigarh. So thankful to you, sir, sparing your valuable time. In March, you spare for me, for the resurgence, for the association.
Thank you for compliments.
I have no word to express my gratitude, sir, for during your closing time also. You spare your valuable time, sir. I have no word, sir. When we are asking you, you grandly accepted our invitation. And even participants, sir, I am just not boasting you, that all participants praise for you, your well vision, your thoughts, and your openness. I think we are thankful to you, sir. I am thankful to Shiv Kumarji. I think that is the first time I listened to him. He is also very knowledgeable man, and he covered very clearly registration of the SME sector. I think this is most important aspect where we can provocate that people must come, let them register, so that they can get all the benefit under the various scheme of the banking sector, or beside other sector, even raw material, other things are also available. Even national NSIC are providing some raw material to SME sector also, that can be available by him. I'm thankful to Shiv Kumarji for your well thoughts, and I hope that in future, whenever we feel that you must oblige us and grace this webinar, something like that. Thank you very much, sir. I am thankful to Sri Chawla, sir. I have also no word to express our gratitude to Mr. Chawla, because he is also president of the Lions Club. I have seen you working in a Lions Club. He is working like a worker, I think I must say. So he is a dedicated worker, dedicated things. He is a banker, and his advice is also well received by the participants, sir. So I'm thankful to Chabla, sir, for sparing your always time. Whenever we request you, so you kindly accept our invitation and come to bless us. Thankful to you. I'm thankful to Madam Jinal. I think this is your first webinar. We will feel that when we are going to hold any capital market webinar, we will invite you. In the end, I am also thankful to my field staff. When you were talking about the Rohan or Joginder or other back who is helping this successful of the webinar. Lastly, I want to say one thing. With this webinar, this is 9th series of our association, and people are appreciating. Yesterday, I was with the top executive of the bank, where he was telling, I was so happy to listen to him, his viewpoint. So he is telling that he has some private folder with him. So whatever webinar which feel that comfortable, so I transfer your webinar into a private folder. And whenever time he listening that webinar, I think this is a great appreciation for these webinars which we are holding it. And with this word, I think we are having encouraged that every week we must do something so that my people, my member can be educated further member can join this webinar or to my association, so that association have a strength. So we are holding about 113 webinar under the Resurgence banner. Resurgence is a merchant banker, debt syndicator. We are conducting technical economical viability study. We are providing training to the bankers also. Beside that, the valuation, other things we are doing it. So I thankful to all my eminent speaker of this program, and I feel that the participant must be benefited by their advice. Lastly, so with this word, I close the session and with the thanks, and I request all the other speakers also, if whenever we say something, so please oblige us by participating in the webinar, sir. Thank you very much, sir. I'm really obliged.
Thank you, Uptaji. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.